Hello, this is me. It says I've got poor connection. Been having some internet problems today, so I hope this doesn't go weird. And I'm going to get Sarah on. Glass of wine. Got dressed up for you. This isn't my everyday. Hi, Sarah.
Ooh, what are you? I know we're not supposed to ask this of women anymore, but what are you wearing?
I'm wearing something from Avabs.
Listen, you're not a style icon for nothing. My husband's in the room right now.
I'm going.
The husband.
Yep.
Trying to steal the limelight. Now everyone understands and pities you.
All right. Yeah.
He's feeling really vulnerable. I'm not joking. So that's what I'm for today. You're going to go edit one of your podcasts.
People are saying how beautiful we are on here, Jeff.
Listen, I'm not paying any attention, but I appreciate it. I've set up this light very specifically. I was told a note. This is our pre-show chat. A note I was given was that our heads should be taking up a similar amount of the screen. So like we should either both be very close. So like I should move forward or you should move back. What do you think the best look is?
What did your friends say?
That like we should fill the screen in a similar way.
Okay.
What do you think is better?
Well, that's kind of how we were before.
I think we look very cool. I'll just say it. I'm just going to say it.
Just say it.
I also want to say that one of the things I was doing this week to try to I wanted the weekend to feel different from the week.
Yeah.
I think that seemed important. So the way that I did that was by having beer in the afternoon.
On the weekend?
Mm-hmm. Like it's like a little festive thing, like a 3 p.m. beer. Just putting that out there as a thing.
It's like a weekend celebration. I've been starving myself in the week and eating normally at the weekend.
Do you know, I think it's very good and important that you admit that. I want to do that, but every morning where I'm like, do you know what? This is going to be the day where I eat all the colors of the rainbow and get all these, which is like the thing I do when I'm trying to get skinny, is I eat all vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
It's like very 90s of us that we're talking how to diet. So I know it's not great, but whatever. But then every morning I wake up and I'm like, fuck it. And I have a slice of a cake that I made and I can't find the will to do anything that involves any kind of deprivation.
It's understandable. It's absolutely difficult and awful. And the week drags. And last week, by Wednesday, I was like, it must be the weekend. But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
We've got 1 minute to go before we start.
Why don't you tell us, can you tell everybody something bad that happened to you today?
People are saying, sack the diet. Can I just tell everyone why
that's good. Respond to those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why I can't sack it, because I agree with you. If I was a normal person, I would. The reason why is because I filmed half a series of a TV show and we have to go and film the other half of the series. So I can't suddenly be after. But you wouldn't.
Okay. I mean, but I will say, I think the coolest thing that ever happened. Well, anyway, we've got to start now. But
okay,
it's 8:30. I'll just say the coolest thing that ever happened. It's 8:30, so we have to start. But I thought it was very bad.
Sorry. I just want people to know who are logging on asking me to sing that I've been advertising this event. This is me, Sara Barron. We are the deciders.
We're giving relationship advice to people who are quarantined. We could say that if anyone types in saying that they just want you to sing, that I could sing one of your songs instead. Because I think I sort of do an okay impression of you for one verse, not even a verse, a line.
I think what's more important now, Sarah, is saving people's marriages.
You're right.
I know you've always wanted to be a pop star, but now's not the time.
Okay, so we're here today. We're doing our little we're sort of agony anting for people who are stuck in quarantine. We're completely unqualified to do it. We're doing it only because we're bored. And also because we like single people to remember how terrible the inside of relationships actually look. Does that sound like a good intro to you?
Yeah, we're very much pro staying single to those people watching that feel lonely in this situation. We're
Yes.
like, okay, the grass is greener. We're looking at you thinking that sounds great.
Right. And we want them to feel their own greatness, which might be difficult right now.
Yeah.
Take us through the relationship stats quickly before we get into our first question.
So quickly, I'm in a relationship of nearly 8 years. I've got a 3-year-old with my partner. We aren't married. I'm terrified of marriage. I don't know how it makes me feel. And I am quarantined with those 2 people. And you,
Great.
Sarah?
I am quarantined with my husband. We've been married for 6 years, together for 9 years, and I have a son who's going to turn 4 in quarantine. So we had to cancel his birthday party, but I'm actually very happy about that because nothing makes me feel more like I am dying than children's birthday parties and the small talk that you have to make. Anyway.
Also, we should just say that this is adult content. So anybody who's sitting with their parent or whatever, and you parents don't want your kids to listen to adult stuff, don't watch this.
No, this is for some grown ladies. This is for some grown women who are miserable. That's who we want to talk to right now.
Okay.
Now, so I thought the first thing that we should do is we should let people know we offered advice last week to someone. They took it. They got back in touch. So we have an update from them plus a follow-up question. Shall I recite that? And
Please
you advise,
do.
and then we'll get into what I think is going to be the meat of this little episode. So we heard from a father last week whose daughter was whose daughter had to come home from university. So they were quarantined together with the mom. The mom is an essential worker, so she has to go out while the father and the daughter stay at home. They wanted to know whether or not it was acceptable to begin their evening drinking without her. We advised that it was, but only if they used their bonding drinking session to prepare dinner for the mom upon arrival. They've done that. It's gone brilliantly, proving that we're geniuses. Paloma. Beyond that,
it's gone well.
Yeah. I mean, it was a real home run for the 2 of us when we advised that. That's what I thought. I was like, we're really nailing this. Okay. So his follow-up question to us is he wants to know now, the daughter has started suggesting that she wants to become the cleaner, like she will be the cleaner in the house, but she wants payment for it. Now, the father has given the pieces of information that she's a very good cleaner, but also they're paying her university fees and she already gets an allowance. So what do you think?
Oh, isn't the allowance the payment?
This is what I think.
Can I just say as well, like I went to university and at that point I worked 4 days a week, also 4 nights a week, 1 day a week on the weekend, and put my whole self through and never got an allowance. And when I came home, I was pretty lazy, but I think it's kind of bad if she's getting an allowance. That's the money, right?
I agree. I think that she has to, first of all, I have a very warm feeling toward this daughter. I think she's a good lady. I don't think she's a spoiled or entitled little lady. I think she's great. I think she needs to feel that the allowance is that she should be cleaning the house because they're paying her university fees. And she should do it out of the goodness of her heart. And I know she's too young to really understand that she's beholden to them for that, but she actually is. So if she's listening right now, which I think she is, no more extra money, my love.
You're getting enough.
You're getting enough. I want you to clean that house out of the goodness of your heart and also to give you something to do. And because you'll really carry that habit with you into your 20s when you're having a flat share with people. That's what I think. Are we in agreement?
We're in agreement.
Great.
So should we move on to the next one?
So I think we should tell people that this next one that we have, it is epic. People are going to think we made it up, We 100%, I will promise on the future of my relationship, we didn't make this up. This was something
This
someone
is
wrote.
100% real and somebody submitted. But obviously, everyone who writes into us remains anonymous. And if you write into us, you will remain anonymous. But this is absolutely great. And also, all the married people out there are going to be very jealous of this.
Yeah, this is going to inspire single people and make married people depressed, which is fine.
But I just want to say as well, single people, if you're not a great judge of character, don't do this, because this could end quite badly if you were.
We're saying too much. We just have to read it. Who should do the honors?
I'm going to.
Shit, I wanted to do it, but respect. Okay, so you read it, but I want you to you've got to really bring a lot of your performative flair. And
okay, thanks for your notes, Sarah.
Places. Those are my preemptive notes. I'm excited.
I am a 42-year-old divorced heterosexual woman. No kids. When I want to meet men rather than use an app, I just text some friends and see if they know anyone.
Great.
Faced with 12 weeks of quarantine, I wanted to squeeze in a few last drops of male company before being cut off from all men for the foreseeable. So I did my usual round robin. To all my friends, I wrote, surely you must have a decent single friend for no strings attached sex before this shit hits the fan. To cut a long story short, within minutes, I was texting a fella. A friend of a friend who I've apparently met before at a party last December, but I have no memory of this meeting because I was drunk.
Great.
The texting began last Sunday. We texted, this is very now. So
right, so this is like Sunday, a week ago.
Real time.
A week ago, real time.
We texted intensely for 2 days, and then Boris announced a total lockdown. I genuinely felt like I couldn't not meet him for who knows how long. So I sent the following text to 3 close, non-judgmental friends. Can I go into lockdown with a relative stranger? There's been 2 days of non-stop texting. He's a friend of a friend. I want to bang. However, I don't really have a hold on what he looks like or the in-person vibe.
So that's also something she texts to her friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, all my friends said, no, don't do this. So obviously, I ignored them. I texted the guy with the suggestion that we quarantine together. And long story short, we did. He arrived last Sunday at midnight. He is very fit.
Oh.
Long story short, he's a black belt at oral sex. He's a carpenter. He can mend cars. He has female friends and has downloaded a recipe for crumpets.
Oh.
There's a bit omitted here, which I thought was really important. He was making a sourdough starter.
Yes, but a lot of people are doing that right now. I thought it was redundant with the crumpet, which is why I edited, but okay.
He's inspired me to plant seedlings and grow plants on my windowsill. So that's my story. As for my question, it's this. Do you think this can last? How long do you reckon we have before he has to sleep in the boot of his car? To give context, it is an estate car with a big boot, and I do have blankets he can borrow. In the meantime, we're spending today doing tantric sex YouTube tutorials.
Oh, so, I mean, it's...
What a cat.
So, this woman is in quarantine with someone she just met. They're having amazing sex. It's amazing. She feels like her best self can at last.
Yeah, and she's changed as well around him for the better.
Right. My instinct, like if you were like, Sarah, you're going to win 500,000 pounds if you get this right. I think it can't last. I think something bad and awkward is coming. But I don't think it's going to happen during quarantine if quarantine lasts like another couple of months, which they're saying it's going to. I think there's some possibility that this is her man, this is her dude, this is her future person. And the chemistry is about the fact that she has just met the one. I think the more likely scenario is that they're both like, we're so wild, we're so crazy, and this is crazy. And that is that is creating a sense of allure that will not be able to stand the test of normal life? What do you think?
I am a hopeless romantic and would love to think that sometimes out of these awful situations, great things can happen. But I also think that this person sounds a bit like me in my past. You know, we've spoken about what we used to be like at length with each other. And
I want to quickly contextualize that for people. I think that you are a settler. I think you are an idealist who loves love.
Yeah, I'm in love with the idea of love, and I think that this person's in love with the idea of love, and is sort of almost creating a bit of a gamble situation to just in hope, in like wide-eyed abandon, that this might be like an amazing story, almost movie-like.
Yes.
Story. But the reality is, you're probably right. The reality is like, more often than not, you realize it wasn't them you were in love with, it was your own imaginary version of what it should be. But actually, it's kind of quite a brilliant thing to do, because it's the beginning of quarantine, and if quarantine is kind of 3-4 months, that's how long it takes to go off someone anyway. So
yeah, but
they enjoy this time and then come out and say no.
3-4 months of living together is like a year-long relationship. Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah.
I also think, you know, what you said, what you pointed out, is that I think this is a brilliant, like, if I was single and I heard that story, I'd be like, I want to do this. Like, I'm going to find myself some meat and ride it for a few weeks. But your character judgment has to be really, really, really strong for you to do that. And most people, it's like everyone, you know, the line from When Harry Met Sally, everyone thinks they have good taste and a good sense of humor. Everyone thinks they're a good judge of character, and 90% of people are wrong. Do you think that you're a good judge of character?
Yes.
See, so do I. So we're just proving this. I think that you are. I think you're pretty good. I think you're good. But I'm basing that on the fact that I've always liked your, like, I really like your partner.
Thanks. I like yours a lot too.
Thank you. But so I always think that sort of suggests good character judgment. Anyway, maybe we're two of the special ones. So in conclusion, it's not going to last, but I respect the shit out of you.
But the question wasn't, that we haven't answered, is like, would it be okay? How long until, it was kind of like, how long until he had to sleep in the boot of his car? I think it's okay. It's an estate car, apparently.
Yes.
So there's plenty of room.
Yes, yes, and I think basically, so no, I think it can't last, but I do fucking love it. Secondly, I'm gonna give the whole, I mean, I think a maximum of a month. What do you think?
And then he'll have to illegally drive and maybe get arrested trying to get away from her.
But listen, but it's kind of a great, you know, a great way to test a relationship quickly. Like, I have friends who have been in some very much like more normal version of this, and it's 6 months of your life working out that, you know, if some dude isn't ready for prime time, where she's going to figure that out pretty quickly. Anyways, should we move on
to the next one?
Yep.
Do you want to do it?
Way, so I think
Sarah, I'm losing you again. Are we having, is the internet crashing today?
I think so. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, but it's annoying.
So I'm going to go ahead and
the
read.
internet's overloaded. Okay.
Fine. We're fine. Okay. So from Anonymous. This is very interesting to me. Since lockdown, I have seen an increase in my sex drive. I see strangers walking past my window, and they have suddenly become extra alluring to me, as not only are they strangers, but sex with them may result in me contracting COVID-19. I find this extra risk a turn on. Am I okay? Well, first of all, I love this question. It's very candid. I think that people have kink all the time. Like some people are like into wearing diapers, whatever. So I think, you know, I think she.
The connection's not good again, Sarah. Ah, I'm losing you.
I've got 4 bars.
I might have to message her. Shall I move? Is anybody else having issues with watching Sarah?
Are we back?
I'm going to go and sit right next to my router. I'm sitting next to my router now. How's that? Is it me or is it you?
I just texted you.
Okay, great. I think it's okay now I've moved next to my router.
Oh, great.
But they're saying you're breaking up and I'm okay.
Sarah keeps freezing. Sarah's connection is off. P, yours is perfect. Well, okay. We're getting...
Obviously.
All right, everyone. Honestly, it was just a bunch of messages being like, P, you're perfect. P, you're amazing. It's Sarah. Sarah's the problem. Jesus Christ.
Let's read it again. Let's read it again.
Should I read it again? Okay, basically, This is what someone wrote. Since lockdown, I have seen an increase in my sex drive. I see strangers walking past my window and they suddenly become extra alluring to me, as not only are they strangers, which is, I get it, but sex with them could result in me contracting COVID-19. I find the extra risk a turn on. Am I okay? So first of all, I really like this question. I think it's very honest. I think a lot of people find anything like this, you know, I mean, I don't know if this is the same as a rape fantasy, but a rape fantasy is a thing. The idea of risk and threat and danger as being sexy is a very familiar trope. So I think plenty of people must think that fucking and getting it is hot. And I like this person for admitting that to us. Are you okay? Of course you're okay. People have, you know, different kinks, no judgment. Judgment. I mean, not really. I don't really actually judge this. Like diaper stuff, like some people are into wearing nappies, like as a grown adult and fucking, and that's kind of weird to me, but each person do their thing. So I think don't do it, but you're probably very human for wanting to do it. And I bet the exchange of disease feels like intimacy. Oh my God, as I'm saying this, I can feel it's right. The transfer of the disease feels like intimacy, and this person probably feels quite alone, and getting the disease with someone feels like intimacy. P, what do you think?
I think it's really interesting that all the comments I'm reading think this is a woman, because I thought it was a man when I read it. But anyway, it's interesting. Could be either. But I also think that perhaps because of this being such a deadly, horrific disease, this person should avoid. But I do know that there are these fantasies, exact fantasies, catered for on the internet in a much safer way. You can just watch it on your computer and not contract.
First of all, of course they shouldn't do it, but watching it on your computer is never the same.
Have they got a partner that can wear the mask?
I'm projecting singledom onto this person.
It's
which
weird
I could be
how
wrong
everyone projects their thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we should move on from that one.
Fine. Okay. You read the next one, or whichever one you want to read.
Let's have a look. Oh, this one's good. Okay, this one a lot of people relate to. How can you have a successful argument with your partner when you're always surrounded by children that listen to everything? Correct. At the moment, 75% of my interactions with my partner are studies in passive aggression. Everything we say is awkward and tense. I don't want my kid to pick up on the bad vibes, even though I'm sure he does. Basically, I'd really like to be able to argue more. What should I do?
Want to take it?
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. How much arguing do you and your partner do in front of your child? Or do you make an effort? Here's my question. Do you make an effort to contain the argument and like check it and be like, we're going to get into this after she goes to bed tonight? Or do you have to have it out in front of her?
Well, we're quite lucky because we have couples therapy. So if anything feels really big and as if it would be really explosive, I tend to write it down in the notes in my phone.
That's great.
And then I don't say much and I try to move on as quickly as possible. And then I come back to it in couples therapy. So, you have the
self-control to do that, which is interesting.
Yeah. But I would say me and my partner have never had a full-on row, and we're both not very good at dealing with it. We both avoid it, and that's because we both grew up in households which were quite aggressive. Like both our childhoods were full of dominant father figures, and we don't really want to recreate that for our own kid. But
interesting.
But like today, for example, something weird happened that really irritated me, and I feel like that in this isolation situation, everything's magnified massively. So like something you might just dismiss normally becomes like a reason to split up with your partner forever. Do you know what I mean?
What was the thing he did today that irritated you?
I gave my kid a chopped up bit of apple and I washed it under the tap, and then after I'd given it, he had to go at me for not washing it in soap.
I mean, I tell him that we never wash produce in our house, ever.
Yeah, but we're talking generally. I'm talking about in COVID-19 world.
Right, but I mean, I'm very
still not
relaxed.
washing
You
it.
guys are, but also you guys are. I mean, no, I haven't washed produce in. I mean, we've boiled stuff, but yeah, like my son has had fruit that hasn't been washed in COVID-19 but anyway, we're really relaxed about it. Not in terms of us getting tested
Sarah,
on.
you've gone again.
Oh no, what should we do? Should I drop out and come back?
Can you move next to your router? Or are you worried about the lighting?
I mean, I am worried about the lighting, but I can try to move next to my router. Oh, I look like a fucking old lady. What should I do? I don't even know where I think my router is in my closet. Is this helping? Is this good?
Yeah, it's better. So like we're taking a tour of your house. Don't move too much. It was good.
Hold on.
Yeah, that light's good.
Your friend Pinky did those? My friend Joey did that?
I know. People are saying, like, I always wash my fruit and vegetables. They missed the bit where I said, I did wash the apple. I washed it in water. But then he says I should have washed it in the soap or peeled the skin off. But all the vitamins are in the skin.
And then do you feel that this gets at a larger bit about your relationship?
Well, it was weird because it was like reverse telling off. So he said, why don't you ever do what I tell you to do? But he told me it afterwards. So how could have I done what he told me to do when he'd only told me after I'd acted? And it was a bit weird. So it made me think that actually there was something else going on, that like he's angry that I never listened to him. And he kept saying that if someone else tells me the same thing that he's told me, then he says I listen, but if he tells me I don't. It's about power, isn't it?
Yes, this is the thing, is it's like washing fruit,
anyway,
but it's about
so back to the question.
Okay, so back to the question. What I think is, so I left my computer back in there. How do you avoid passive aggression?
Okay, so I know what I think we should do.
Yeah.
I feel like what we should be doing is we should be having litigations in front of our children that are conducted in a really bright, intelligent way where we explain our feelings and then we understand and we find a resolution, and they have to sit through it. So they learn how to do that for their future lives.
Of course, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is that it's like these kids will pick up on the bad vibes. They're going to pick up on it. It's just going to happen. And that will be a bad thing, but it's how it will just, you know, the kid will still be an okay person if other things are right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's sort of like I think you have to try to not worry about it and accept that it's one of these things that you can't control. Like they always say about being a parent, it's the stuff you're worried about that won't be a problem. You know what I mean? If you're going, oh, I'm worried about da-da-da-da-da, it's like the fact that you have the wherewithal to worry about it means the kid is going to be fine. It's the shit you don't know that behind your back, your friends are like, oh, that's fucked up dynamic in that relationship. That is the shit that's going to make the kid, that's what's going to be a problem. And, you know, this is just, there's nothing to do about it. I feel too self-conscious in this lighting. I have to do something about it. I feel too ugly. I have to go back to my kitchen where the lighting was better.
But we might not see you at all in the bad lighting because your internet's sucked in there. Have you not got the ability to add a filter? That's what I've done.
How do I
Everyone's doing.
Do I do this?
The round circle smiley face with like a plus on it.
Oh, yeah.
Press it and it's got all your filters. Yes, babes.
Ugh, wait, let me just find. That's a little better, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hazy.
Perfect. Hey, Vaismere. I've never felt uglier. Okay, listen. I think I look better now. I feel slightly better.
Thank God for filters.
Oh my God, we only have 2 more minutes. We have to wrap up at 9 o'clock just because
it's
boring otherwise.
Do you want to quickly read another one?
Yeah, hold on. I got to get my computer. I'll bring it back to my new spot.
Should we do that really, really good one that we both like that's only 4 words long?
Yeah, I think that should be how we close. That should be the big close, the headline act.
Okay.
You know what? Wait, can I say a thing? No, never mind. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if we roll 5 minutes over, Sarah.
No, I know. I want to keep them wanting more. That's just the performer in me. Okay, so you read this last one. I think I know the one you mean, though.
Okay, it's I hate my husband from my roommate's mom.
Amazing. So that means someone's roommate, that mom has written in to be like, I hate my husband to her child, who has shared that intel with the roommate. Wonderful. I mean, that's what they're there for. I always say that when someone talks about how good their relationship is or does anything publicly on social media that's like, this is great, this is really great, I think, oh, you're a moron and it's terrible.
And your relationship behind the scenes
and your relationship
is awful.
and you're stupid. You're both stupid. This is dumb. This is child's play. You're morons. That's what I think. Every time someone goes on social media to say something positive about their spouse, I think it means that they're dumb. I'm very judgmental about that stuff. Whereas if someone never appears on social media with their partner talking about how their partner is great, or 10 years ago today I met this one, they never do any of that shit, I think they've got something real. That's
and
what I
maybe
think.
it'll last.
Yeah. So you're supposed to hate your husband. I don't know what else to tell you.
You're supposed to hate your wife also.
Yeah. And we don't really mean that, obviously, but it's just like anyone right now. I had a conversation with my friend earlier today who was saying, oh, she was like, I'm not going to fucking survive it when this thing is finally done. And everyone talks about how it was like what they learned from it. And I was like, totally. This is just a terrible thing that's happening. It's terrible for children. It's terrible for adults. It's terrible for relationships. It's just awful. And we have to own the awfulness of it and not try and be like, but the really great thing was we got closer. Fuck you. That's not real. That's what I think. That's what I think. Can you see how I'm trying to make this a closing bit? Can you see how I'm trying to rally to make it a closer? I'm so feeling this filter on myself.
People are like, Sarah's really intense.
Yeah, I am. I was thinking the moment is more on my, well, I do think this is you in real life as well.
Yeah.
You're not as you're not as negative as I am in real life, actually.
No, but like, I think the real is important. I think it's okay for us all as a closer to unite and say, yes, we do hate our partners. We should hate our partners. We didn't sign up when we got with someone. None of us said, okay, I'm going to shut the door, never go out, never see anybody else, have your child, clean, cook, and do all that stuff with you all day, every single day. We never said that. We said, oh, I really like you and I'd like to come home to you after I do all the other things that I want to do. So actually, this is the thing, is it's fine to hate each other, and it's also fine to kind of like love each other at times as well, and be like, well, do you know what, this is gross and we won't share this on the internet because then we'll look stupid. But sometimes it's okay to sort of stand there and go, I actually just really enjoyed watching that Netflix program with you tonight. Thanks for going through this with me.
Yes.
Like, most people would get on my nerves even more than you do.
Yes. I think that's the perfect thing. I think that the best you can hope for in a real way is to say, most people would get on my nerves more than you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said to my partner the other day. I said, my big romantic gesture is everyone else would annoy me more than you. And so that's love.
That is love. That's very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think so wait, let's review. I want to recap in a couple words our advice. To the dad, and to the daughter, she's not going to get payment for cleaning. I'm so sorry, and I love her, but she's not going to get it.
Yeah.
For the woman who's now quarantining with the stranger and doing the tantric sex tutorials.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Enjoy it while it lasts. And also, I envy you and I respect you. That's important. Then we had the person who is turned on by the idea of contracting COVID-19 from a stranger. To you, we say respect. I think you're not alone. I think that's actually quite average kink, but don't act on it. And then lastly, to the woman who hates her husband, we feel you.
We feel you.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. None of you alone.
I think it was okay. I've been watching more of these Instagram lives to see how we fare in comparison, and I think we're fine.
I think we're good. We're coming back next Wednesday, 8:30. We'll be looking for more questions and hopefully have some updates by Wednesday on some of the stories you'll be following.
Bye, guys. Sorry I got intense, but I was preaching my truth. Okay, bye.
No, I love your intensity. You stay you, girl.
I'm going to stay me, girl. Bye.
Bye.